Good day. Thank you for joining us again on the Frankly Speaking Jamaica podcast. This is our second episode for 2024. It is episode 104. Our dedicated panelists are with us again today. Desmond Richards, Winnie Anderson-Brown, and Mary White. The technical support is by Joshua Black. Welcome to you, colleagues. Now here's a reminder to you viewing live that you may comment or ask a question while we speak. This podcast will be available on YouTube after we're done here, and we welcome your comments there too on the channel. Of course, we ask you to subscribe if you have not done so as yet. Please share. Now, let's go around the table to get a summary of the issues of our panelists. Desmond, what are you going to talk about today?
Yes, good afternoon to listeners and viewers. Well, I intend to focus on the local government elections, and my theme is ask questions before you vote, and also to take a look at the Integrity Commission. Look at what has happened in that recent ruling and that multi-million-dollar housing scheme up in St. Andrew there.
Yes, sir. Charlemont. Okay, Mary, yes. Let's hear you now.
Today, I'm going to be talking about New Year's resolutions. As you know, we all have them. We make them every year. We can't keep them. But this week, I'm going to share with you 3 habits of success to achieve your resolutions to be healthy, wealthy, and happy in 2024. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss the 3 steps.
Beautiful. Now, we don't have Winnie on yet, but we still are expecting her. But I'm going to deal with that housing project in St. Anne that the Chinese company, China Harbor Engineering Company, is supposed to be building near Dunn's River. And if I have time left, I really want to take on crime, on which I started to chat last week. But let's go to Desmond Richards.
Yes, the situation with the local government elections. One of the things that when I speak to councillors across the country last week, I've been talking to councillors, and the problems faced by the people are similar. Bad road conditions, water, unemployment. Those are 3 topics that came up when I talked to councillors from Westmoreland all over the country. And so I am saying to the voters, ask questions, put your vote, make sure that yes, you are a PNP supporter and you're a JLP supporter, yes. But try and vote for a councillor who is going to represent your interest. The interest of the local people all over the country has been neglected. People in rural Jamaica, they are not being represented properly.
So the system is not working, Desmond. It's neither JLP nor PNP. It's not us who's supposed to vote for you. Does the system work? Do you expect anything out of the local government system?
The system can work. The system can work. Is the representatives.
I agree, Brother Desmond.
It can work. Is the represent. You see, what is wrong? What is wrong with the Jamaican political system? Is because of how it is managed, right? The members of parliament, they are not putting the interest of their constituents first. They are not doing that.
There's no pressure on them to do that, Brother Desmond, because
Right.
you
So
made
the
that good
system,
point that out in the rural areas, the political landscape is different. When you come in Kingston, you think that, oh, Kingston, they think the political people think Kingston represents Jamaica. But when you go out in the rural areas, it's like you're not in Jamaica anymore. It's like you're out in a forest, a cave. It's like cave.
But these people, these councillors get paid, Mary. There are councillors out there in the division, sometimes 3, 4, or 5.
I wonder if they ever
constituency,
go
and
to
they
these
get paid.
communities, Mr. Mac, because it's dismal. It's dismal when you travel outside of Kingston to see the difference between Kingston, Jamaica, and rural Jamaica. It's not like it's the same representation that is happening. Island-wide, it's terrible.
Desmond, so you expect something significant out of the local government election. You expect that we're going to get levels of representation if people ask the right questions. That's what you say.
I am saying I don't expect any miracles. What I am saying that the people must use this poll as an example to change, to ask questions and get representatives who are going to represent their interest. That is the point I'm making. Let us make a start.
Because
the
they
first
keep
time
getting
at
away
last,
with it, Sir
because
Mac
people-
and Brother Desmond, as long as the people don't hold the representation accountable for taking up the responsibility but not doing the work. And that's what happens, whether it's JLP or PNP, no matter which election, they just get elected, do no work, go back and get re-elected, and the madness continues.
Yeah.
Okay, so Desmond, you want to wrap up that point and touch your other issue. Is that Winnie we have with us?
Yeah, yes. So I'm saying yes. This is where I am urging voters to take a serious look. The condition facing the people. As we speak right now, there are thousands of Jamaicans who are having water problems right now.
True.
So
Right,
that's
as
the
we
last thing, man. That's been going on for years. And local government elections, you really expect local government elections to change that?
well, hello.
Tell me,
I
you
am
expect
saying
that no matter how the people vote this time, in 2 or 3 years' time, that will change? It can't
I am
change. It
saying
won't change. For example, the water issue.
I am saying that they should use this election to make a start. What I am talking about, the problems that I am talking about is over 60 years old. I know that. But it is time for us to make a change. We cannot continue with this system for another 60 years. Is that what we should do?
All right. So we expect the local government election should be called this week. It should be called sometime this week, based upon the fact that of the time between nomination day, the time between it's being called and nomination day and election day. And I think the minimum you could tend to have is about 23. There are some people who are targeting somewhere in the middle of February, but they have until almost the end of February. So we will see something there. We want to come to Winnie, who is going to tell us her issue, and we're going to just ask you to take it, Winnie, because you are talking about crime, not one of your regular topics.
Not the tech topic, the tech queen. It's not talking about tech this week.
No, she's going to crime. Winnie, take it away. Not hearing you. I think you are muted, Winnie. I think you are muted. So we're not hearing you. Let's.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
We are hearing you.
Yes. What I'm saying is the tech queen has taken a break just to make a point.
Noted.
Crime. It is important to understand that none of the political parties, none of the 2 political parties will ever be able to put a lid on crime. I'll say why.
Come on, Winnie. That is a cynical
No, there's no
view.
cynicism.
Maybe it's really fit, Mr. Mac.
I can give you a little background to that. I'm not speaking.
You are saying neither of these 2 political parties, whatever they say, will be able to, in government, handle crime.
No, it will not happen. And I just give you a little background. I am one of the founding members of the National Democratic Movement. we looked at the two tribes then, and we saw the challenges, and we had high hopes. You had JLP, PNP, and the NOP. I was among the NOP. So when you look at crime, neither of the political parties will ever allow the other party to be ahead as far as solving crime is concerned. So if there is cooperation expected, it will not happen, because the one party is not going to allow the other to get credit for putting a lid on the biggest problem that we have in Jamaica.
Desmond, give us a quick response to that. What Winnie
Well,
is saying there is that we're in a hopeless situation, not now, but in the future as well.
No, but if I may jump in before Brother Desmond,
well-
Winnie, are you saying that they would actually create crime to rack up the crime numbers just so that the other party look bad?
Well,
Is there no fruit in solving the crime? Is that what I'm hearing?
Were you listening? Were you listening to the trial?
No.
Were you listening? There are times when you turn it up. So, and the Prime Minister made a very foolish statement that when his government is in power, his administration is in power, people could go to bed with their doors and windows open. That was a foolish thing to say. And people believed him and keep throwing at him. They are equally foolish, because unless you control the people, the violence producers, you cannot guarantee anything, because both sides have their people. And not only in Jamaica, both sides have their people outside of Jamaica as well. Both sides.
The agitators, Winnie. The agitators
You have looked at crime for years. Desmond, you have looked at crime for years. I love your response to Winnie's thesis, prognosis.
Well, one of the points there in Winnie's analysis is that we must remember that the political parties, they have their role to play with the gangs. They had their political gangs. Remember that. And these gangs, these criminals, were the ones who work on election day, represent them, and after election day, they return to their criminal activities. Now, over the years that has decreased.
Absolutely.
But the point is that both the government and the opposition must come together on policies to fight the crime. The situation where one is
not going to happen.
But that's not going to happen according to Winnie's
They will not.
Because if they are the same ones who are agitating the crime to make the PMP is agitating the crime in the JLP season to make the JLP look like they're out of control of the country, and then when the PMP go in, the JLP run the same racket on them. This crime thing is in perpetuity. There's
Winnie,
no end to it.
please proceed on your thesis first, because we don't want to have any doubt about what you're saying.
As far as I am concerned, it takes civil society to make the difference. When the people, because the criminals are among us, they're not in the air, they are among us. It's the people who will have to say no more of this. And that is why I believe that it is important to have a secure peace and security, call it czar, call it whatever you will. The name is immaterial at the moment, but something similar to the Integrity Commission to deal with security and peace. I don't believe in this nonsense about crime.
You are saying that you would remove security out of the hands of the political executive.
Yes, I would do that. Because, and have something similar, of course, you'd have to work out the details to the Integrity Commission so that either party can be held accountable. But where are we going to find those people? They're here. There are some people who do not bleed green blood or orange blood. There are some of us who care enough about Jamaica to say, look here, if you keep on killing, every Jamaican knows somebody who was murdered. Either it's a neighbor, a friend, or a relative. Every Jamaican. That is not good. So we need to do something. And as a people, when we keep putting in one, taking out the other, listening to the nonsensical promises that they make, they have no interest in cooperating with each other to reduce crime. And I would be happy if someone could prove me wrong.
Well, I don't buy the idea. In fact, I reject the idea outright that the one or the other or both of these political parties, neither of them will be able to deal with crime, because if they will not, we're corner dark, as they say in Jamaica. Neither of them will be able, because of the other side set up to undermine them with corner dark.
I'm sorry, even if they don't take it as far as undermining, which I believe they do, I can be proven wrong, they will not support the measures that will help to curb crime, because they're not the ones implementing it. And they don't want it to be said that this problem, that it's such a serious problem, the other party was responsible for bringing it down. So even if they are passive, if they're not actively creating these scenarios, they are not going to support.
So what we need is to depoliticize the crime problem.
Amen.
That is what we need to do.
Amen. Right? That is, unless we do that, we are not going to get out of this. We have been trying this for many years. That is why almost every week Desmond talks about it. We have been trying for many years, and it's madness. We know that, to keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect different results, it's not going to happen.
But you know what I think, Winnie?
Tell me.
Government is just a small subset of the society.
Right.
And it is we, the people, who have the power. We, the mothers, who know that our sons are involved in criminal activities, and protect them. We, the girlfriends, who know that the men we're sleeping with are involved in the criminal activities, and protect them. We, the community, who knows that the man up there start go out to kill people at night time, and we protect them. For whatever reason, we're not speaking up. And then we point the finger on the 60 people who make up the government or the small group. We, the people that are in the masses, until Jamaica have the whistleblowing system, whether it's your brother, your sister, your father, your husband, whoever is creating the crime, and we start to expose those people and turn them over to the police, crime is never
you have to have the system for that, Mary. You have to have the system for that. Why do you think some people don't report things to the police? I can tell you many stories, and
why don't
we don't have time for that. We need a system. The power, they're the ones who make the laws. As a matter of fact, tell me why they have capital and non-capital murder. Tell me why. Why did that
argument? All right. So okay. Thanks, Winnie. You are more than agitated today, and thank you. But as I say, that's my position. I disagree with it entirely. Mary, let's come to you now on resolutions, etc.
All right. After a very heated, spirited Winnie blazing up the place with the crime and one of this one, I must say that we're going to turn our minds to how are we going to get through this new year, crime or not. We have to focus on our goals. And as soon as the crimes happen, most of us get back to our regular life. So we follow the news for a minute, and then the day it dies back, and we're now worried about how we're going to achieve our goals of whether it's to be healthy, wealthy, or happy, or focus returns. So I have 3 strategies to help you achieve those goals. The first strategy is accountability. And for that, I have that down as the art of self-examination.
You're talking about people who have made resolutions this year to achieve something in particular. Is that what you're talking about?
Absolutely. And most of, if not all of us, Sir Mac, we have goals and dreams for the new year. We want to achieve some stuff this year, right? So accountability is the first one. And if you have to examine yourself often, as the Bible warns you, self-examine yourself and make adjustments where you see to bring back yourself in alignment with what your dreams are. So we talk the talk about we want to achieve, but we don't walk the walk. So we'll never achieve our goals, no matter if those goals are related to health or wealth or just joyfulness. So let's get with being accountable in achieving our goals.
How do we do that? How do we do that? How do we do that? Because we're the sum total of our habits. How do we do it?
To form, it's a habit. It's something that you have to form the habit, Winnie, of constantly put a system. It has to be systematic, like solving crime. You have to have a system that works. So you're going to put a system of self-examination in place, whether you're going to check write down what your dreams are or your goals are, and then on a weekly or a monthly basis you're going to come and check what is happening with those dreams and see where you're falling short and how you're now going to put a plan in place to make up the deficit, come back in alignment, right?
Accountability. Number two.
So number two is discipline. And I call that the art of exercising self-control to subject your mind, body, spirit, behavior to a path. A lot of us are not disciplined. If you talk to a lot of people who did not achieve dreams or goals that they set, they will say it's a lack of discipline. For example, you may say you want to lose 5 pounds, but you're eating at night. And you tell yourself, oh, I'm not going to eat at night. But as soon as you come in, you go to the refrigerator and you're sitting on your couch munching away at things. You're not going to achieve that goal. You need to have the discipline to work towards and avoid the things that you say you're not going to do in order to achieve your goals and do the good habits.
How do we get that discipline? How do we get that? It's all
everything is
to say,
practice.
but how do we get that?
It's like a muscle. How do you get a muscle, physical muscle? You have to work out that muscle daily, not just once a year or once a month. It has to be a perpetual habit that every day or at least 5 days out of the week, you're getting up and practicing. It's like saving. You want to save, but it's a person who saves consistently can be called a saver. If you just save when you get a ton load of money one time and you're not a saver, you will save if you have excess money. But the person who will make the sacrifice to save on a weekly basis or a monthly basis from their salary, no matter what they earn, that person can now be labeled.
3, and you have half a minute to finish 3.
Diligence is number 3, and that for me is the art of consistency. A lot of us fail at achieving our resolutions and our goals because we are inconsistent. We do not get up every day and work at the things that we said we're going to do.
And let me ask you quickly before you close, because we have to move on, because I haven't gotten there yet. What about things outside of you? Because all of those things you're talking about are that you will do. What about things outside of you, other people in your surroundings, in your environment, other government policies, private policies, your workplace situation? What about those?
Goals are both external and internal, Sir Mac. And when you set your personal goals, you have to consider the environment in which you're living to ensure that your goals are at least achievable and possibly sustainable. So you cannot set an impossible goal because you know that the society in which you live won't support you achieving that goal. All you're setting up yourself for is self-frustration. And to me, that's just stupidity. When you fail because it's whatever your circumstances are, external circumstances, they are not set for you to have that goal. As
you are listening, Mary is saying you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Be accountable, have discipline,
smart about
and be consistent. I'm going to go now. So if you allow me to give you an update on that story I brought you to your attention last week out of St. Mary. Some of you will remember, as I mentioned, that Miss Andrea Kane, a woman there, middle-aged, she's not yet 50, Miss Andrea Kane, was hit down in a plaza in Port Maria in early December, 6th of December, in fact. And she died more than a month later, January 11, after a frustrating time through the hospital system. Remember now, I pointed out to you that there was, up to the time of her death, more than a month later, there was no police report on the crash. No one was arrested for it. No one was spoken to. There was no police report. Leading on a broken leg and then leading up to her death. Well, the St. Mary Police head, Bobette Morgan Simpson, was, as far as I'm told now, to get a report this weekend or by this weekend on what happened. And then the Northeast Regional Health Authority, NERA, has signaled that they are to reach out to the daughter of the late Miss Kane to get a formal report from her to determine if a probe is warranted. So the two arms of the system, of the government, the healthcare system, which many believe failed the woman, although doctors say nobody dies from a fracture, so it's not a fracture that killed her. And the police system, which did not provide a report of an incident that happened 200 yards from the police station, a serious incident, those both are expected to respond.
Good.
The rest of my little time before I get to Desmond, because he didn't get the chance to talk about his Integrity Commission. I've been watching very closely this situation with, and I'm not going to have a chance to tell you today, but one of the largest meetings I've seen for a long time in the center and space took place at the Baptist Church Hall over the proposed development of luxury apartments and villas near Duns River. Now, there are people who are concerned that this will have negative environmental effects, negative effects on the built environment as well as some heritage considerations. And there are those, and a lot of people went to this meeting. It surprised the planners, it surprised the environmental people, it surprised NEPA, it surprised the environmental solutions who were required to hold these consultations. They are continuing, people have spoken about it, but you know, one of the sad things that came out of this meeting, and I'm going to find some way of getting back to it. Many of the people were depending on check and asking, are we going to get water out of your system? When you take up some of our water, we don't have water supply now. We don't have proper roads to move right now, the roadway between Ocho Rios and St. Anne's Bay and Prairie in particular. There are long waits, and they're almost expecting check to provide some of those answers. But I'm going to get a chance, I hope, to come back to this. Desmond, we have not many minutes left, so I allow you to comment or take on Integrity Commission.
Well, that housing project there owned by the manager of the NWC, you will observe now there has been some action.
Charlemont in St. Andrew.
Yes, there has been some action arising out of that Integrity Commission report. One officer, the officer who actually discovered the breach, he has been put on suspension, and the other officer who was supposed to be in charge of the department is now taking the matter to court because she claimed that the report is unfair to her. Now, what is clear is that what happened at Charlemont is a total neglect of the responsibility of the respective agencies, the KSAC and NEPA. If the officers had paid enough attention to their duties, they would have dealt with the situation, would have been dealt with. Now, what is happening is a very messy situation there. And the question is, how many more of these cases are in the works? Are the officers at NEPA and KSAC, are they doing their jobs? Because if they were doing their jobs, the Charlemont housing scheme, those problems would have been detected and dealt with efficiently.
And the other municipal corporations too, which deal with developmental issues,
yes,
as well in their areas. How many of those situations we have had? How many buildings are really properly being examined that are coming to these municipal corporations? Do they have the officers
yes,
at the levels that are supposed to be there? All of these issues.
yes, sir. And therefore, we hope the authority. These are the things that the authority, part of governance. These are what government is supposed to do, to ensure that these state agencies work efficiently. We are not getting that from
the issues raised here again today are just things that we really want to take on to change this Jamaica. And the crime issue is out there, and we have spoken about it time and again. But we want to thank you for your patience with us. Thanks to Desmond, Winnie, and Mary. And we really got a little bit heated there because Winnie drove us against the wall with her comments. Right, Winnie? Remember, this 30-minute podcast will be on YouTube this evening, January 21. Thanks for sharing, and please subscribe. On behalf of the team, including Joshua Black, I am Franklin McKnight. Until then.